Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of 1025. One of my greatest joys this last year was being able to coach our St. John's School cross-country team for the first time. I had kids from 3rd grade through 8th grade who were out for the sport, most of them running for the first time. And I remember that first practice where we went out and ran a mile. And I used it to talk about finding a pace that you can sustain. I remember that some of the kids, especially the young kids, they took off on that first lap and they were ready to win the race. And as some of them came around huffing and puffing, I said, slow down, find a sustainable pace. And some of them fell off. But throughout the season, they learned how to find that sustainable pace. As someone who myself right now is training for the Twin Cities Marathon, I understand what it means to find a sustainable pace. There are far too many times where in races, I've gotten that adrenaline rush and I've taken off too fast and I burned out and I've been unable to sustain that pace. You know, this is actually what we're talking about right now as a staff. As we transition into the summer, I sat down with my staff last week and I said, what's that rally cry? What's that phrase that we need to focus on throughout the summer? And what we landed on is the phrase sustainable pace. Because for the last 3 months in the midst of COVID concerns, we've been pushing hard. And now we're in that place where we're beginning to reopen for worship. And some of us are realizing that we're tired. And we need to find that sustainable pace, especially as we go through this summer. We need to find time to rest. We need to find time for our families, which means that things need to switch up, especially when we're short-staffed. Especially when I'm the only pastor. So how do we find that sustainable pace? You know, one of the areas that I've realized that I can find a more sustainable pace is when it comes to our 1025s. No, I'm not getting rid of the 1025s. I realize that our digital presence is here to stay. I've definitely learned that throughout COVID. But I need to scale it back. So for the duration of this summer, instead of putting out 5 1025s every Monday through Friday, which is what I've done for the last 3 months, over 65 episodes, I'm going to scale it back to 2 days a week. On Mondays and Wednesdays. Mondays, I'm going to put out a word for the week for you, and Wednesdays, I'm going to share with you a song of the week. And maybe every once in a while, I'll sprinkle in a bonus episode for you. But as we look at finding a more sustainable pace, I think of the words from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2, which says, let us run with perseverance or endurance the race marked out for us. In order to endure in the race, you need to find that sustainable pace. Life is not a sprint. Life is a marathon. And I would say the same thing for me when it comes to my ministry. It's not a sprint. Yes, there are times where you pick up the pace, and we've done that the last number of months. But in order to endure through ministry, in order that we don't burn out, we need to find that sustainable pace. So let's run with perseverance the race marked out for us. And in all of it, let's fix our eyes on Jesus. That's what I have committed to throughout the last few months as I put out these 1025s, to helping you to fix your eyes on Jesus, even as I fix my eyes on Jesus. I'm going to continue to do that for you for the foreseeable future. And as we wrap things up for today, let me just flip that question over to you. How can you find a more sustainable pace this summer? Because in the midst of COVID, definitely our pace in life has changed. For some of you, it's sped up. For others of you, it's slowed down. But as you begin to look at the summer, how can you find that sustainable pace? Where is God inviting you? Maybe to scale it back, or maybe to step it up. Together, let's run with endurance the race marked out for us. Let's fix our eyes on Jesus and trust that He'll help all of us to find that sustainable pace. And I'll see you again next time.